This is Rashonda Thornton, the Dietitian Against Diets podcast show, particularly the Play to Win series. Now, Play to Win is my mini series that I give out every week, and is pulling inserts from my book called Play to Win Your Food Fight. And the whole goal of these particular talks is to give you tools and ways you can handle and work through some of the obstacles that we all face when it comes to our nutrition and the struggles we have with it, with our emotional component and just how we see things. But before I go too deep into it, I want to recognize some of the companies that has made this podcast show available to you. One in particular is an organization or company called Banner Road Baking Company. And what they are is that you can't tell by the name, but they're granola baking company. Not only are they a granola baking company, but they're all making sure that every component of their ingredients is coming from somewhere that's health-centered, nutritious centered. Their owner, who was a former chef, her name is Ann Croy. She created this company years ago, but one of her main goals was to make sure that everything was top grade. She's been innovative in not only making sure the flavors balance, but she also makes sure the flavors are unique. If you go to their website, you will see the variety and I call it the flavor clash with the different varieties of how she's found ways to put the sweet with the spicy, the tangy with the chocolatey. She just really had brought some combinations that you wouldn't have thought you would have done yourself. But when you try it, you'll definitely recognize why their company stands out and why they're right now called the world's best granola. One thing about this company is that they don't compromise on their quality and they don't make concessions or shortcuts. Go to the website, check it out. Many a flavor that I'm sure you will find it fits your fancy. Actually, before the end of this month, at the end of April, if you make any purchases over $25, all your shipping will be free if you type in code Stay Strong in all capital letters. Go to their website, bannerroads.com. Check them out on Instagram at Banner Road, or follow them on Facebook at Banner Roads and take a peek at what they got to offer. Now, we're getting ready to jump into the Play to Win series titled, the title is, and I had to pause because it's so true in how we all interact with foods, but it's really called Facing Your Temptations and Dealing with the Second and Third Helpings. We all face that temptation when it comes to our certain foods that we eat, and we find ourselves going for more helpings than we actually need. I'm going to start off with this quote by John Maxwell. It says, if you're proactive, you focus on preparing. If you're reactive, you end up focusing on repairing. So the reason why I started off with that quote is because we can naturally go for the second and third helping without even thinking about it. And then we find ourselves trying to catch up or trying to find ways to kind of get off those calories, or knock off the calories that we just eaten, or we feel bad about what we just ate. So right now we're in a position where we're trying to repair versus preparing so that you don't have to prepare. You don't have to repair. So what does it look like when you're facing focusing on your food temptations? The thing is that you all know that we all want to have more, but this creates more opportunities to be tempted. And when you're creating more opportunity to be tempted, you are putting yourself in a position where you're going for excess foods, and you recognize it's not even because you're hungry for it, it's just because it's around. So what happens once you dig into that second and third serving? You find that you overdo it, and then you find yourself feeling bad about it, and then the feeling of guilt, the feeling of negative self-talk starts to kind of rear its ugly head. So you want to always ask yourself, are you you're going to know that you're going to always want more? I mean, that's just the reality. We are fixated and waiting. When we enjoy something, we don't want it to stop. So naturally, you are going to want more. So lying to yourself or just saying, oh, I'm completely done, I'm just not going to do it anymore, you're just setting yourself up for failure. If you really, really, really like it or really, really want it, I just say own it. Own it that you want it, but now prepare ways that you can find yourself to where you can be satisfied without having to have the second and third serving. Ask yourself some questions. Before you, as we talked about in John Maxwell's quote, think about how to be proactive. Ask yourself a question is, am I hungry? Or is this what my body needs, or is this the amount that my body needs? I say it in a way because you want to separate self from your body, because our mind can tell us, oh, we need it because of X, Y, Z. But what is our body telling us? Is our body telling us that we need those excess calories? Or are we going to physically feel better as we have more than what our body needs? I think if you separate your thought process from your body, you'll be able to recognize there's a distinct difference in what stuff should be taken next. Um, and when I talk about listen to your body, listen to your body, and listening requires, asking yourself, is your stomach legitimately growling, or if it's just all a mental temptation? Because everything at the end of the day is a mindset. But understanding when you do take that second or third helping, that leads to the overeating. The overeating component to it, and overeating leads to unnecessary calories, unwanted weight gain, and it creates a short-lived satisfaction. At the time that you do see the cake or the brownies or the cookies, you're telling yourself, "Oh, life would be so much better if I do get this second or third helping. What is it going to hurt?" It's At the moment, it's not going to hurt anything. You're going to feel satisfied for that 2.5 seconds, but afterwards, understand it's a short-lived situation. The feeling of guilt, knowing that those calories stacking up, that's all going to play with your mental in the way that you look at things, and how it's going to create to build negativity and a negative relationship with those particular foods. So you want to have to start thinking bigger. You want to think past just that moment. Think about what it is that you want for yourself ultimately. If it's what you want for yourself ultimately is to increase your health in regards to longevity and feeling good and being able to move, at that moment you have to pause and ask yourself, is that second or third cookie going to contribute to the bigger picture of what I want? At that moment, decide, can you be satisfied, satisfied with just having it in one serving, and the fact that you have allowed yourself to have something versus trying to say that you're not going to have it and then make it worse towards at the end. So think about the bigger picture. Also, understand that when you bring in some of those foods, it is all mental. And a lot of times, I call it the 2x3 piece of muscle in your mouth. That's your tongue. So it's 5 minutes of pleasure. So when you're having a particular food, it's 5 minutes of pleasure that you're getting. And again, that short-lived satisfaction. But then your body gets the brunt of your decision. Your body gets the brunt of the excess sugar. Your body gets the brunt of the processed food. Your body gets the brunt of the heavy fats. And continuing to let your body get the brunt of this 5-minute pleasure is only going to snowball into worse health conditions. You feeling bad about yourself. You feeling that you can't move forward. You feel that you can't do this. All of it spawns off that 2x3 piece of muscle that's in your mouth that determines what foods taste good and how much it wants to keep bringing it in. So just kind of recognize, yes, it's going to taste good, but how can I separate and know how my body's going to respond and the repercussions to it if I choose to continue to bring in those servings? You got to ask yourself, is that 5 minutes of pleasure actually worth it? So now that you recognize and create the separation of the mindset and how your body, separate your body from your mindset and how you're going to make these choices, you got to start thinking about, okay, how can I start implementing this into my life to where this can be a proactive thought process versus a reactive and a repair situation. Again, thinking about how you're separating yourself from yourself. Ask yourself, does your body, let me say me, does my body deserve to be in an environment, in this type of environment, or live in this environment where overeating is a norm? Is our body meant to take the brunt of, storing up energy, increasing our fat tissues, increasing exasperating our health conditions? Does our body deserve that? Does our body deserve for this to be normal for me to just eat a little bit more than what I need to on a regular basis? And I think if you ask yourself that, you probably know the answer to that. And then, how can you start balancing the thought process or the perspective of one is done, not two in a few. How can you be satisfied just having that one cupcake and not feeling like satisfaction doesn't mean two or three of them? Your body doesn't need two or three of them, but you allowed just to have the taste, enjoy the moment, and kind of look at it in a positive way that you've had what you desired, but you didn't go overboard with it. So how can you start to balance what it means to you to just be able to have one and then be able to be good with it? And then know also, as I'm saying all of this, just know every single time I get on here, it is all a work in progress. Everything that you're doing, recognize that it may be a situation where you've done well and being able to just keep it at one serving, and you went to a party or something, you find that second or third serving was on your plate and somehow disappeared. Allow yourself to know that you're a work in progress, but use that as an opportunity to reflect on what caused you to have that second or third serving. Was it a moment of weakness? Was it because you had a couple of drinks, or was it because you felt peer pressure? Recognize what caused that reaction so you can address it and perhaps find a way to eliminate it for the next time. And the last piece, at the end of the day, it's all about how are you reflecting, how are you loving yourself and loving your body. Three helpings may taste the best and it may feel like it's the best answer, but know that it's actually a setback. And it's not just a setback on your body and whatever comes from that, whether it's your health or weight, but it's also a setback of like how you actually view yourself or see yourself. So when you're making these choices, you decide, debating on, am I satisfied? Am I good with one slice and one scoop of ice cream? Recognize that it's all about perspective. It's all about mentality. And at some point, you got to find a way that you are going to find common ground with bringing in some things you enjoy, but not feel like the second and third helping is what's going to create that joy. Find your balance. Find a way to be in both worlds by having some, but not knowing where your limitations should lay, but also why. Let it be because you want what's best for your body. You want what's best for your health. And you looking at everything now as your choices at the bigger picture, not the short-lived satisfaction situation that we see when we bring in some of these foods. So again, as I always tell you guys, I'm all against the idea of restrictions and diets, but it's all about, because that only leads to a mentality that we feel we're strapped between what we should and what we shouldn't do. And we find failure at the end of the day. So I want you guys to start wrapping your heads around how can you transition your thought process and turn it into action to where you're thinking ahead, you're making choices because you want what's best for your body. And you ask yourself these questions again, this what my body needs. Is this enough? So I hope that you're able to take some of that with you, apply it to your life. If you feel this resonates with you, feel free to share it amongst your peers, amongst your friends, because at the end of the day, we all want to make sure that we are living our best self and our healthiest self. Again, this is the Dietitian Against Diets. I want to give a quick shout out to one of the companies, again, that's a part of making the Dietitian Against Diets a part of this life and a part of your ears and your eyes. I'm sure you heard of the company, or you're familiar with. We're all familiar with certain food products, and one in particular is a dairy foods. Undeniably Dairy is a campaign promoted by Midwest Dairy Council here in the Midwest area, and Undeniably Dairy means sustainability produced and undeniably delicious. Now, right now, we're facing this epidemic, and there is a lot of communities that are affected by it. One in particular is our student in our communities. Over 124,000 schools have been shut down, which leads to over 30 million students that are going without having school meals. And Midwest there has recognized that, and they have partnered with a lot of organizations around on a national level. One in particular is called Gen Youth. And so what Gen Youth is, it's an organization that has built funding in response to the COVID epidemic, where they provide resources monetary-wise to schools that are in need so they can provide meal services and healthy foods for their kiddos. Go to their website at genyouthnow.org and learn more about the response. And it's called For School's Sakes. Also, check them out on their Instagram at Gen Youth, and check them out on Facebook at Gen Youth Now. Right now is the time that we need to focus on our students, focus on our kids, and making sure that they're not only getting food, but they're getting healthy food. So check them out, contribute, learn more, tell other schools that may be in need for funding, help them to go to the website so they can apply for the program. This is Rashonda Thornton again, the Dietitians Against Diets. Guys, enjoy your day, be safe, be well, and see you next time.